Hi everyone, it's Sherry. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. Y'all have been thinking about this for a while. Stay tuned. Welcome to my channel. I am so glad that you decided to stop by, and welcome to all of my new friends and to all of my new subscribers. Welcome back to all of my longtime friends and longtime subscribers. First of all, thank you so much for the wonderful comments that you left for me in celebration of my 5 years on YouTube. I really enjoyed reading them. I was so touched, and I was just so humbled and appreciative that so many of you chose to leave comments and that so many of you choose to watch my videos. One of the things that I've been thinking about doing for a while are compilation videos. And those are videos where I'll choose some of my favorite projects and put them all in the same video. So to mark that milestone, why not do a compilation of my favorite fives? So that's what I'm going to be doing in the upcoming days. I am going to be joining some of my favorite videos into one video. So you'll see videos posted from me that will be in excess of an hour. And you'll be thinking, she's lost her mind if she thinks I'm going to watch a 1 hour video. And yes, the video will be an hour plus, but it won't just be one tutorial. I will have my 5 favorites in these 1 hour plus videos. So I'm going to kick this off with 5 of my favorite boxes. I have more than 5 favorites, and I'll share more favorites in other videos, but we're going to kick it off with the first of my 5 favorite boxes. That is what today's video is all about. So thank you for being here. I hope if you've started this video, you'll watch it, or at the very least, listen to it and just let it play, because starting my videos and letting them play until completion really helps me out and really helps my channel. So watch it or listen to it. Either way, I hope you find some enjoyment. Let's kick it off with 5 of my favorite little boxes. So we're going to make this awesome gift tube, and it is a large one. It measures 10 inches tall, and the circumference on it is 3.5. So to make our project, we're going to need some chipboard, and I'm using a lightweight because I am going to stabilize the bottom of this with the chipboard. And so I'm using this lightweight because it'll be easy to cut out that circle with my scissors. Then we have a decorative piece for the lid, and this measures 4 3/4 by 12. And then we have the box itself, and this measures 10 3/4 by 12. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make the tube portion of this the box portion. So for the body, I am just using some heavyweight cardstock. If you want, you can actually place some chipboard on the inside, but we're not doing that on this project. We're just going to make it a heavyweight cardstock project, and you'll still end up with a very sturdy box. So with your paper and your scoreboard on the 10 3/4 inch side, let's score this at 3/4 inch all the way across. And then that is all of the scoring that we need to do for this part of our project. So I am just going to take this piece that we scored at 3/4 inch, and I am just going to burnish that score mark. So now here's what we need to do, and I'll do it on this side because it might be easier to see. Basically what I'm going to do is about every 1/8 inch, I'm going to go up to that score mark and just cut slits all the way down. This is how we help to create roundness on our projects, or curves on our projects. So I'm going across the bottom approximately every 1/8 inch, and the smaller you go with these, the easier it's going to be to smooth it out and get a very polished round look at the bottom. If you make these too wide, then what you're going to have is you will be able to see the ridges of where you made those slits. So the closer you can make them together, the better you are. So all we're going to do is go all the way across this and go about 1/8 of an inch. I'll do the rest of these and I'll be right back. All right, guys, so I have my ends all trimmed, and there are probably fringe tools out there that you can use for this to get a fringed edge to your project. You know, I've never tried them on this, but you can certainly give it a try. So this is the bottom of our box. So all I'm doing at this point is basically just taking my paper. I want to give it just a little bit of curl. So I am just pulling it like that, and you can see I have a slight curl to my paper. So this part is going to be very simple, because all we're going to do is we are going to take this piece and this piece, and we are going to join the two of them together just like this. So to do that, I am going to take my tape. I am going to place a piece of tape right here. And I am not going to go down to where I did the fringe. I am simply going to go above that score mark and place my tape. So now I'm going to remove my tape, and then I'm going to take this, bring it up just like this, and I'm going to start joining it from end to end, making sure that I have the top matched, and I'm going to pick it up and I'll bring it down to the bottom with my tape. Then once I have it down like that, I'm just going to go on the inside with my hand and make sure that I've got my tape nice and stuck. You can use glue on this if you want. So now you can see that we pretty much have a round shape. And then on the bottom, all we're going to do is fold these in just like this. We don't want them coming to the middle. We want them out just like that. And all of this, guys, really is me eyeballing almost everything. So what I'm going to do at this point is I am simply going to place this down just like that. And I am going to trim out just a rough little circle. It doesn't have to be perfect, because we're going to be hand cutting a circle, so it's not going to be perfect. For those of you who do have tools to cut out your circles, you can use that. I am doing this craft in this way because I know that not everyone has a circle cutter or a machine that will cut out the circles for them, or even the handheld tools to cut out circles. So I am basically going to trace around this until I have it cut out. And like I said, it's a very rough circle. So once I have it cut out, I'm going to take my circle, place it on the bottom to see how it's going to fit and to see if I need to make any adjustments to it. And I think I can trim off just a little bit. I don't want to trim off too much. So now I'll put it back down, and I need to look at it. All right, guys, so once I think I have a good circled piece for the bottom, I am going to take that piece and just trace it out again, because I'm going to cut two of these, one for the inside and one for the outside. Now, if you wanted to, you could actually take some decorative paper and cover yours so that everything is nice and matched. For me, I am simply going to use the raw chipboard for the base. So again, I'm cutting it out, and this time I'm cutting inside of the circle because I need for the inside piece to be slightly smaller than that outside piece, because it needs to fit inside of our beautiful tube. So all I'm doing is cutting that out. Then before I do anything, I'm going to take this just to make sure that it'll fit on the inside, and it will. So now at this point, what I am going to do is I am going to take my glue, and I am going to place my glue on the larger circle, which will be on the outside. And I want to be real generous with my glue because I don't want any of this coming undone. So I am just putting glue on here like crazy. So now I'm going to take this piece and I am going to lay it down. Get that stuck down. And then I'm going to look at it just to make sure I don't have any portion of that sticking out from the bottom. When I'm satisfied with how I have it down, I am going to take my big old spatula and just help to get that chipboard stuck down. So now, as you can see, we've got our nice little tube ready for the inside piece. So on the inside piece, I am going to take my glue. So for the inside piece, I am going to take my glue, place my glue all over that. Then I am going to have to take my hand, place it on the inside, and lay it down. So there you can pretty much see that we have got a nice base on this, and it's nice and sturdy. So whatever you want to put in it, it's going to hold it very well. And look at how nice and round that is. So now if on the bottom you want to take a spatula or a ruler and just really go along the edges, if you have those slits kind of protruding, that will help to lay them down even more. And you can see just how much smoother that is becoming just by giving those a nice burnishing and buffing them into place. So now we have the makings of a really sweet round box that we can give as an awesome gift. So now guys, we are going to make our lid, and you're going to see just how easy it is to make the lid for this. So to make our lid, we are going to need our piece that measures 4 3/4 by 12. And on the 4 3/4 inch side, we are going to score this at 3/4 of an inch. Then we're going to score it at 2 3/4 of an inch. And then we're going to fold and burnish the 2 score marks. And now we simply need to take this large piece, tape it down or glue it down to this large piece. And I am going to tape mine, but like I said, you can glue it. So I am just going to place my large tape right in the corner and run it all the way across. And then I'm going to trim away that piece. Then I'm going to lift up the large piece. And then I'm going to place down a second piece because I want the whole thing covered. So I have that down just like that. I'm going to peel this up. And I'll take this piece and I'm going to fold it over, and I will get everything nice and stuck. So this will be the portion of the lid that will sit here. All right, guys, so now what we need to do, we folded this over, and we need to do the same thing that we did before. So we are just going to make cuts up to the score mark. We're not going to go through it, and we're going to make those cuts about 1/8 of an inch all the way across. And this is how we are going to create our lid. So I am going to finish cutting this out all the way across. Then I'll be back and we can put our beautiful lid together and complete this awesome box. All right, guys, so I have got our lid cut and trimmed. And so it's going to be very easy what we do. We're simply going to take it, wrap it around until you get the tightness that you want. And then all I'm going to do is slip it off, and we are going to add some glue or tape, whichever one you want. And I'm going to place my glue right here. Do not place any glue on your flaps. Then I'll bring over this piece. So then once you have it joined, put it on and do a test fit. If it's loose enough to go on like this, then you have a good lid. If it's too tight, you simply need to go to the joining point and separate it just a little bit by moving it out. Mine is fine, so what I'm going to do at this point is I am going to take my bone folder, go on the inside, and get that smooth. So then we do it just like we did the bottom. We're simply going to fold this in just like this. And now I can take my lid and place it on and bring those pieces in just like that. So now what we need to do is we need to cut out a piece that will go on the top. So what I'm going to do is bring in some extra red paper because I want it to match. And I am just going to hold this down. And again, I am going to rough trace a circle. And so once I have my circle traced, I am simply going to trim it out, and I'm going to go inside of the circle to do my trim. And like I said, this is a rough trace. If you have a tool that will allow you to be more exact, by all means use it. But for those who don't have all the bells and whistles, this is still a great way to get the look without having all of those bells and whistles. So once we've made our first cut, let's go ahead and take this, place it on the top, and see if we need to make any adjustments to it. I'm okay with that, so what I'm going to do at this point is I am going to take my glue, just like we did on the bottom, and I am going to place my glue all around my circle. So then I'm going to take my lid, go ahead and place it on my box so that I can have my round shape. And then I'm going to take that topper piece and place it down. And now I can take it off and open this, and I'll go on the inside and just make sure I have everything nice and stuck. All right, guys, so now what we're going to do is I have another circle that I've cut out, and we're going to place this on the inside to cover the mechanics of all of those 1/8 inch cuts that we made. So I'm going to take that, place it down on the inside, and then I'll use my bone folder just to go on the inside and get everything nice and stuck. So now I have my sweet little box with my lid all done. And now I'll take my spatula and just smooth out where there might be any ridges. And don't you think that that is so pretty? And like I said earlier on this one, my sister made this rosette, so I thought it would look great on this one. And then here she also made this rosette. And then on this one, I am going to take just a little bit of glue and I am going to place it right here. And we'll give that a moment to set up. And so there, guys, there we have it. I think this is just absolutely stunning. So easy to make. This makes a great way of doing home decor for the holidays. Makes a great way to gift larger items. This is truly, truly a little statement maker. And it is so stinking cute. I have this dressed up for Christmas, but as you guys know, any season, any reason, any gender. Just change your papers, and that's what you're able to do with these projects. All right, y'all, so here's a closer look at today's awesome project. When finished, it is going to measure approximately 6 1/4 by 7 1/2 to the point, and it'll be an inch deep. And we also have it sitting on this little pedestal base, so you can see just how gorgeous this actually is. And just like with the other box, it starts with an envelope. So here's what we're going to need to make it. I have one 5 1/4 by 7 1/4 inch envelope. I have my decorative papers. I have 2 pieces that measure 6 by 8. I have 1 piece that measures 6 by 4 1/4. I have what I'm considering a scrap piece, and it measures 6 by 4. Then I have 2 pieces that measure 5 1/4 by 7/8, and I have 2 pieces that measure 4 1/2 by 7/8. Then I have a piece of scrap. This scrap happens to be 3 by 12, but I will be cutting it down. And then I have a piece of chipboard for the base, and this measures 6 1/2 by 1 1/4. So we are going to take our envelope, and this is the part that opens. So we're not going to do anything across this part. We're going to take this and we're going to score at 1/2 inch on the remaining 3 sides. And that's 1/2 inch on 3 sides. We're not adding any scores to where the flap is. So then I'm going to take my big old spatula, and we are going to fold and burnish the scores that we did make. And there will be 3 of them. And then I'm going to take my finger blade, and just like before, we're going to go to the score mark and cut straight down, and then we will angle and then remove a piece from that bottom, just that corner. We'll do the same thing over here. So we're going to go up to the first score mark because there's only one to go to, and then I'll angle and then I'll remove that bottom piece. And then you're probably going to have some little angle pieces down here. Let's just go ahead and trim those away. And you can see right there where we have that little flap from the envelope. I am just going to very lightly cut through that. And now I can open my flap, and we're going to go to the score mark, cut that flap, and then we're going to remove that flap altogether. We're going to do the same thing on this side. So this is exactly how we did the first envelope box that we made, and I'll have that linked in the description box below. In case this is your first time seeing this, you can go back to that box for reference as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead while it's flat, and we're going to place down our inside piece, the back piece, and the front piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I have this base folded upwards so that I don't push this too far in. And then I'll use my pen and I'm just going to trace. And in case you haven't noticed, I'm working from my backyard again today. Then I'm going to take this piece and pretty much cut where the line is. And we'll do the same thing here. And now when we place it in, we'll have a pretty good fit. You can go back and keep trimming off portions if you're not getting the fit that you want. So now we're going to take this piece and I'm going to put it in like this because I'll be reversing it in just a minute. All I'm doing is a little trace and trim. And if you have another way that you want to do this, by all means, guys, give it a try. See what works for you. This is just a blueprint of ideas, and you might be able to find a way that works even better for you. So now I can take this piece. We're going to put it on the back to make sure that we have a good fit. And we do. So that's 2 pieces shaped. So then I'm going to take the piece that measures 4 1/4 by 6, and we're going to put it in just like that. And again, I'll trace. And I'll trim. And then I'm just going to put that down to test it. I'm okay with that fit, so I'm going to leave that one. And then I'm also going to line the inside of this section. So I'm going to take this little scrap piece that measured 4 by 6, and I'm going to put it in. This will not be an exact fit, but it's going to give me some added stability on this project. So I'm going to take my scissors and just trim. Now I'll be able to take this piece and we'll put it on the inside. So we'll have 2 pieces of my paper here, and then we'll have a piece here and a piece on the back. So that's what gives us that super sturdiness. So I am going to go ahead and take these 4 pieces and I am going to run them through my Xyron sticker maker to put the adhesive on the back. To put the adhesive on the back of yours, you can spray it with some spray adhesive. You can use glue if you want, or you can tape it. Okay, so now that we have our cut pieces, I am going to go ahead and place them down on my project. I'm going to take the back piece and we're going to get it placed like that. And you can see that that has already firmed this piece here. So then we're going to take this piece, and to make sure that I don't get it stuck before I want it to be stuck, I am going to place it against the front section of this, and then I'll slide it back once I'm ready to stick it. So all I'm doing is lining it up and getting it stuck. And now you can see that I have a very sturdy base to this. We're going to take that piece that was 4 1/4 by 6, and we're going to place it right there. Get that nice and stuck. And then we're going to take this piece that was 4 by 6, and we're just going to put it inside like that. So we now have a very sturdy body. We are going to open this, and now we can put it together the way that we did the box from yesterday. So now I'll grab my reptile adhesive, add some to that tab, fold it over to the bottom, add some to this tab, fold over to the bottom, get that nice and stuck. And so far, this is what we have. And y'all, this is looking so nice. So now we'll take those side panels and we're going to put them in to firm the box sides. So I am going to do that with glue. So I'm going to take the two pieces that measure 4.5 by 7/8, and we're going to place those on the inside. Go in with my finger, get that nice and stuck. Then we'll do the same thing here. And I'll go in on this side, get that nice and stuck. Then I'm going to bring my scoreboard back in, and I'm going to take my two pieces that measure 5.25 by 7/8, and I am going to score these at 4 5/8 on both. So now I'll just fold these two, and what I'm going to do is put them on the side just like that. So I am going to take my glue, making sure that I get good glue coverage going down the side, because I don't want this coming up. And now I can take this and we can put it down just like that. So I am just going to press that into place. Go ahead and work that glue in, and then we'll do the same thing on this side. So I am going to add my glue. I'll take this piece. We're going to place it down and fold it over like this. And get that nice and stuck with my big old spatula. And go in on the inside, making sure that I have that glue worked in. And so there we have our nice little box. We need to go ahead and do the base for this. So we're going to take that piece that measures 1.25 by 6.5, and we are going to go ahead and create that base. So I'm just going to add some glue to this. I'll take this piece. We're going to put it down like this. Trim away just a little bit of the excess. Flip it over. Get it nice and stuck. Then I'll take my stylus, go around the body, pressing into the paper. Stand it up and just train that paper to fold. Then I will come back with my finger blade and the songs of the crows, and we will just miter these ends. My crows are very active today. Now I can take my glue, and I'll place my glue on these pieces. I'm going to fold in these end pieces, and then I'll fold over these pieces, and we're just going to work that glue in until it's stuck, because this paper that I'm using, it has a coating on it, so we need to work the glue in to make sure that it's stuck. And there is my base. I am going to take my body and place it down just to make sure that it's going to fit, and it is. So now we're going to take our glue and we're going to place the glue on this part. And when it dries, my reptile adhesive will be clear. So if I have any that oozes out and I don't get it all clean, it's not going to be a big deal because you won't even notice it. So I am going to sit this on the base, and I'm making sure that it's nice and even on all four sides as I go around. And then I'm just going to press it into place like that. And then I'm just going to hold that, and then I'll wipe up any excess glue that I can see, and then I'll just press down on that base until we get it nice and stuck. And y'all, there we have it. We have another beautiful box. On this one, I added this embellishment to the top. On this one, I love the butterfly. It is in the perfect position, and I really don't want to cover it, but I am going to try to put something right here because I went a little bit off on my placement. So I'm going to see what I can find that might take the eye away from this. All right, y'all, so what I have decided to do is I've decided to take just a little bit of ribbon, not a whole lot, and I'm going to place it right here. But when I place it down, I'm going to place it so that this piece is coming over the top like that. And then I'll take this piece and we're going to put it right there. That for me is going to work. So I'm going to take it, tie it, use a little bit of my double stick tape to hold everything in place. And then I'm going to take this piece, add just a little tape there, and we're going to fold it. And then I'll take my little dimensional sticker and we can place it down right there. And then I'll take my scissors and I'm just going to trim just a little bit from that one side. And then I'm going to add just a little heat to the edges of the ribbon. I'm not touching the ribbon, just placing some heat close to it because that will melt those fibers and stop any fraying that might be happening. And so y'all, there we have it. Now we have a beautiful stand-up holder just like that first one. These are gorgeous and just so easy to make. It all starts with an envelope. All right, so here is a closer look at today's project, and I hope that you are able to see how beautiful this is. We are going to remove this from the packaging and we're going to repackage it into something absolutely gorgeous. Y'all, this is how we're able to take something very simple and very inexpensive and make it look like $1,000,000 because inside, like I said, I have chocolates, then I have my lip balm, and we have it packaged so beautifully, and it's going to be so easy to make. Now, the project that we're making today is based solely on one of those lip balm packages that has the plastic bubble. And the plastic bubble is approximately 3.5 inches long. So that is what this project is going to be based on because I will be using this plastic bubble as a part of my project. And I'm going to bring it back in so that you can see that I do have that plastic bubble. So what we're going to need is a piece of 5.5 by 12 inch decorative cardstock. This is more like a medium weight. Then I have a piece that measures 3 3/8 by 1 3/8. And then I have my lip balm in the bubble pack. So this is going to be super, super easy. We're going to take that 5.5 by 12 inch piece. On the 5.5 inch side, we're going to score at 1. Rotate to the opposite 5.5 inch side, score at 1. Rotate to the 12 inch side, score at 1.5, at 3, at 4.5, at 6, and at 9 3/4. That's it. So now we are going to fold and burnish all of our scores. So now I'm going to take my finger blade and I am going to go everywhere there is a score mark and just angle and remove that piece. So I'm going to angle on both sides of the score mark and remove the piece. And then we go over to the opposite side and do the same thing. All right, so once you have all of your tabs cut out, you're going to have a smaller tab here at the end and a wider tab here at the top. So we're going to take the tab that's beneath this one and we're going to fold these two in and glue them down. You can use your tape runner if you want. You can use a glue stick. Just get them stuck down. And so now your piece is going to look like this. Now we're going to turn it and we're going to go right inside of the score mark here. And we're just going to angle in slightly as we cut. So now I'm going to take this piece. We're going to add some glue to it. I'll take that and fold it over. And then we'll get it nice and stuck. So now that we have it like this, we're going to flip it over and we're going to count 1, 2, 3. And in this third space here, this is where we're going to take a template that measures 3 by 1 and we're going to put it down and cut out our opening. So I am going to take my glue and I'm going to try to get this straight when I put it down. Now I want my bubble on the front of my box. If you don't want yours on the front, but you want it on the top, then you're going to place this template on the second one. I went up 3, but if you don't want it in the same position, but you want it on the top, you're going to place your template on position number 2. And so now I can take my finger blade and I am just going to trim out this piece. For those of you who have a die cutter, you can use your die cutter if you want for something like this. For those of you who don't, we can still get that professional die cut look by using our own pre-made templates. So now I'm just going to remove this from the pack, clean it up just a little bit so that paper will not be protruding. And then I just need to take this piece and slip it in that hole and we're going to glue it down. So I am going to take my glue, place some glue on this plastic, going around the edge. And then we'll put this down. So now that we have our glue around the edge, we just need to pop it into that opening, get it into place. We can put it down, and then I'll just go around it with my big old spatula to get that nice and stuck. Now, wasn't that a super easy process? So I just need to remove this little bit that's hanging over so that it won't mess up the beauty of my little box here. So now I'm just going to take it and fold it into a little box shape so that I can put that lip balm in the way that I want it. So I want it sticking up like this. So now that I have it in place, I'm just going to flip it over. I'm going to take my glue, and this time I'm going to place glue along here and a little bit of glue along here. I just want to make sure that it's going to stay stuck. So now I can take this piece and we just lay it down. Make sure that we get it stuck. Use my big old spatula to go over that. Now I can flip it over, and you can see that we have that blister pack with our lip balm on the inside. So now we can put it together, y'all, and we're just going to do a roll. So we're going to take this piece and roll it to the back of that piece. And that is how simple it is for us to put it together. So now I'm just going to take my glue and put it on this piece. And I'll join this piece to the back. And now if I'm able to lay it down flat like this, then I know that I have everything where it's supposed to be. I'll just get that nice and stuck. And now I can open it and I have my box. So like I said, this is a one and done for me. So I'm going to seal it closed. I'm going to close that piece. Add some glue to this piece. Fold it over. Then I'll take my back piece. Add some glue to it. And then I'll take that front piece and add some glue to it. And then I'm going to use my big old spatula to get everything nice and stuck. And I am placing sweet treats on the inside of my box in the form of chocolate. So I am going to take some of my leftover Halloween candy and just tuck it on the inside. Now I will fold that piece, add some glue to this piece, fold it over. We'll add glue to this back flap, fold it, and glue to this piece, and fold it. And now I'll use my big old spatula to get that stuck. So I have my sweet little Anna Griffin flowers. It plays right in line with my color scheme here, as well as an Anna Griffin sticker. This one says lots of love. We're going to place it right there. Now seriously guys, how stinking cute is this? All right, y'all, so here's our super stylish designer box. Isn't this just gorgeous up close? And I used an Anna Griffin embellishment on the top. This is from one of her card kits. So if you just go to annagriffin.com, do a search, check out some of the things that she has, because she does make some of the classiest, most stylish embellishments out there. That's why I like to use them on my projects. So I have this little belly band that we are closing our box with, and the belly band is 2 inches wide. Show you how to make that in just a few minutes. And then we have our box. So I'm not going to open this box because we do have a little twist on the inside. So keep watching if you want to know what that little twist is. So I'm going to set this to the side, and here is what we are going to need to make our project. I have a white mat that measures 2 3/4 by 5 3/8. I have a chocolate mat that measures 3 by 5 5/8. Then I have a piece of my cardstock, and this measures 7 by 5 7/8. And then I have 2 pieces of my cardstock that measure 12 by 10. And then I have 2 pieces for the belly band, and these 2 pieces measure 2 by 12. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to take our 2 pieces of 12 by 10, and we're going to score these. So I'll bring in my scoreboard, and I get a lot of questions about, do you need a scoreboard to be able to paper craft? No, you don't need a scoreboard, but I find that having a scoreboard gives me the most accurate scoring. You can use the ruler method to get your markings, but for me, having a scoreboard just makes it so much more precise and so much more easier. So I am going to take this 12 by 10, and we're going to score at 2 on all 4 sides. And I'll bring in that second one, and we'll score at 2. on all 4 sides. And so now I'll just fold and burnish all of my scores. And we'll go ahead and do that second one. All right, so now that we have folded and burnished our scores, I'm going to set one to the side for just a moment, because on one of those pieces, we need to get rid of the corner pieces altogether. So I am going to remove my corner pieces on this one, and it's only the corner pieces on 1/2 of this. And then on this end, we are going to cut our score mark, cut on the score mark on this direction. So I'll just go to that score mark and cut. And then I'll angle. And I'll do the same thing on this side. I'll cut. And then I'll angle. And so then I'll bring in my glue, and we're going to take our glue, place our glue on these tabs, and put this half of the box together. So I'll just bring that over and match it to make sure I have it nice and even. Then I'll use my big old spatula to go on the inside, get that nice and stuck. And we'll do the same thing over here. So we're just going to match that. You want to make sure that your ends are nice and even. I'll use my big old spatula to go on the inside and get that stuck. So now that we have this piece like this, we're going to take it and set it to the side. We're going to bring in this piece, and this time on all 4 corners, we're going to cut in this direction. So for all of my tabs, I'll just go up and cut. And then I'll do just a slight angle. I'll do the same thing here. Go up and cut and do a slight angle. Same thing over here. Go up to that score mark, cut straight down, and do a slight angle. And then let's do that here. So the way that we're going to do this, we're going to take this piece and join it to this piece. So let's go ahead and do that with our glue. You can use tape on this if you want, but I am just going to use glue. So I'll take this piece and I'm just going to get it aligned here. Then I can use my big old spatula to get that nice and stuck. And so now we have this, and at this point we'll be putting this together just like that, and then we'll bring this piece up and over, sort of like a cake box. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and do that little twist to this box. So we're going to bring in the piece that measures 7 by 5 7/8, and we're going to score at 3 1/2. And then we'll just take this and we're going to fold it just like that. And so now I'm going to take that chocolate mat that measures 3 by 5 5/8, and I am just going to take my tape runner and add some tape to it. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to place it inside just like that. Then I'm going to take the white mat that measures 2 3/4 by 5 3/8, and I am going to add some tape to it, and we'll place that down like that. So what we've done is we have created this little card that will become a part of the box. Now, before you actually insert the card, go ahead and write your message, because it's easier to write the message now instead of once you have the box sides folded up and you're trying to go over the top writing in a message. So we have this little card. The card is going to sit in the box just like this, and it'll sit on this side of our box. So the side that we've not yet put together, that's where the card is going to be, because this will be the lid of the box. But we're also going to take it one step further, and we're going to turn this card into a pocket. So I'm going to go on the back side and add some glue, and I'll add some glue along the bottom. So now I can take this and we're just going to put it down. So not only do we have a card on the inside, but we also have a little pocket that we can now tuck items in. We can add a gift card in this pocket. We have our message. So we have a complete gift system here. Let's go ahead and finish putting this together. So I am going to take my glue, add glue to these flaps, and then I'll bring these flaps up like that, and I'll do that on this side as well. So let's bring our flaps up and get them stuck. Use my big old spatula to go on the inside and make sure I have a good stick. And now on this end, we can take these tabs, glue them to this, and we have our box completed. So I am just going to take my glue and add my glue on both of my tabs. And then I'll just take this, bring it up, and fold it over. And I'll do the same thing over here. So I'll just match it and get that nice and stuck, nice and even. And now I can go on the inside and use my big old spatula to get that stuck. And I'm going to bring in this little sticker that says Best Father Ever. And I'm going to take the sticker and place it right there so that it closes my card. And then you can just lift that sticker to open the card. And now I'm going to close my lid. It closes so that the bottom of the box goes into the top, just like this. And now we want to make our belly band. So I get a lot of questions about what is a belly band. You can call it a belly band, or you can call it a box wrap or a bag wrap, but it's just something that wraps around the bag just like this, and it's closed so that it'll slide on and slide off. So here's how we're going to do this. I am just going to take my two 12-inch pieces and I'm going to add some glue so that I can join these two pieces together. So I am just going to rub them in that glue so that I can get them nice and stuck. And then I'll bring in my box and I'm going to set the box so that the bottom is sitting on top of that seam. So I'm going to bring up one side just like this, and then I'll just crease it on the top and the bottom so that I have those folds. And then I'll go ahead and give this more of a hard crease. And that'll fit just like that. You don't want it too tight. Then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim away some of this. And then I'll do the same thing over here. So I'm going to bring up that side and bring it over. But before I do my crease on this side, I want to make sure that I can slide this up and down. And when I'm comfortable with how I'm able to slide it on and off, then I'll just crease right here and I'll crease on the bottom. So now I know that I have enough space that I'll be able to slide this on and off as I want. So I'm going to take a little bit of glue, place some glue right there, then I'll place some glue there, and then just a little ways away from that. I'm going to take this. I can pull it tighter if I need to, but I definitely want to make sure that this can slide. So now that I have that wrap on there, I am just going to take my little Anna Griffin embellishment. I am going to add my glue right there so I know I'll have my placement exactly where I want it. And we'll get that stuck. We are not adding any glue to the box. We're placing the glue on the belly band so that you don't have to worry about the glue getting on the box. And so to finish this off, I am just going to add some of my little metal gears. I might not be getting that placement right because I'm doing this sitting down, but we shall see. Okay. All right, so I'm actually pleased with how that looks and how that turned out. So when we take off our belly band, and I still need to let that glue dry just a little bit, and we open our box, not only do we have a card, and make sure you write in your card before you actually attach it to the inside of the box, not only do we have a card, but we have a place here in case you want to add a gift card or another note or some tags or ephemera in this pocket. So this is super, super cute, super, super easy. I am going to close it again because I want to show you guys just how easy it is to put that belly band closure on. All you do is put it on and slide it to wherever you want it to be. So I am going to bring that first one back in so that you guys can see just how gorgeous these are. And you can see just how easy it is for us to take our decorative papers and turn them into the boxes that we want them to be. Back to this dual purpose box. I am going to open this up so that you guys can see, yes, this is a box that you can fill with all types of goodies because we have a lid and a base. But as you can also see, there is something more to this box. And that's because the top and the bottom are both removable. And when you remove them, your box opens to become this awesome scrapbook frame that you can take and sit on your mantle. You can sit it on your desk. This is such a great way to gift because you've already placed a gift in the box. Then when the gift has been removed from the box becomes the gift. Now we've got tags that you can write on or tuck little pictures in. You've got 2 pockets where you can tuck all types of goodies. And then you have 2 mats here in the center where you can place photographs. And I do love this. The back side, this is the outside of our box. How cute is that? This is the inside of our box, and it's very sturdy because we're using the poster board and we're mounting mats on top of mats. So that adds to the sturdiness of it. But what I love is the fact that the gift box becomes the gift. I just think that's fabulous. So I am just going to take my little project and turn it back into a box. So all we do is tuck it inside of our lids, put our lids on, and we have our sweet gift box that is also a gift. Guys, how cool is that really? So I'm going to take this and set it to the side, and we're going to make it. So here is everything that we're going to be using on this project. There are a lot of small pieces, so I am not going to go over everything right now. I will go over it as we get to that part of the project. So here is how our project is going to begin. It's actually going to begin with the poster board. So I'm going to be starting with an 11 by 14 inch piece, and I am going to cut that down to a 5.5 by 14 inch piece. So if you don't have poster board, you just need to join two pieces together so that your finished measurement is 5.5 by 14. And then I am going to be using this sticker sheet, Winter Market, and I'm holding it up so you guys can get the SKU in case you want to look for this. Okay, so let's get started on scoring and cutting the body of our box. And because my poster board is longer than my scoreboard, I am going to actually score this so that I can end up with the base for two boxes. So the first score that we're going to make is going to be at 1, and we have it in on the 14-inch side. So the first score is at 1. The second score is at 4 1/4. The third score is at 7 1/2. And our final score is at 10 3/4. So your scores are 1, 4 1/4, 7 1/2, and 10 3/4 on the 14-inch side. Then all I'm going to do is take this and fold it so that I can then put it in my trimmer and trim this down to 5 1/2. And so now we have the base for two boxes if we wanted to make two. So I am going to take this one, and we are going to fold and burnish all of our scores. And then once we have our scores folded and burnished, we are going to bring in our cover mats. And these mats that I'm starting with, I will have 8 pieces that measure 3 by 5 1/4. So I am just going to put these down using my handy dandy little tape runner here. So all I'm going to do is run some tape along the back and place one of these inside of my score marks for each panel, front and back. And so we basically will have triple reinforcement on this project. So all I'm doing is taking my mats that measure 3 by 5 1/4, and I'm putting them down, trying to get them even at the top and the bottom. And I'll take this one. We're going to match it just like that. And then we'll take this one and place it down. I don't know about you guys, but there is just something about the sound of a tape runner that I absolutely love. I don't know if that makes me weird or not, but I love it. So we have those done. We're going to flip it and do the same thing on this side. And guys, if you decide to make this project, please post pictures on Instagram using the hashtag PoshPaperLadyInspired, because I would love to see your take. So I'm going to take this one, get it matched. Put my tape on my mat. And get this one down. And now that we have all of our main mats down, I am just going to use my big old spatula to go over these to get them stuck. So now I am going to bring in 4 mats that measure 4 7/8 by 2 3/4, and we are going to place those down on top of each one of our inside panels. So I am going to take my tape runner again, trying to get it centered. And we have 2 more to do. And let's put down our last one. All right, so now that we have those down, we have a very sturdy base to our box. So what we're going to do now is I am going to bring in a piece that measures 3 by 3, and we're going to cut out just a little pocket on the diagonal. So I am placing it in the corner there and the corner here, and then I'll use my finger blade just to cut straight through, just like that. And I am going to take these corners and I am going to place one right there and one right there. So all I'm going to do to place these down is I am going to take my reptile glue, go along the 2 corner edges, and get it stuck. And then I'll take it and I'm going to put it right in the corner of that blue mat, and then I'll get this stuck. I am going to use my handy dandy paper towel to wipe up any excess glue, and then I'll go along that with my big old spatula to make sure it stays stuck. And now I'm going to take this one and do the same thing. So I am going to take my glue and just run my glue as close to the edge as I can. And then I'll take this piece, place it in the corner of the blue piece, and we're going to get that nice and stuck, and then I'll use my handy dandy paper towel to clean up any excess glue. And I know you guys, and I know that y'all are going to come up with some fabulous ways to do this. This is just a little guide here, but you can alter it and just come up with all types of wonderful ways to make this your own. So now that we have this down, we're going to go ahead and take 2 pieces that measure 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4, and we're going to place one here and one on the back side there. So I am going to take my tape runner and just place this down like so. Then I'm going to flip over to this side and do the same thing. So I'm going to take this piece and get it matched like so. And so now we have this. So now, guys, I am going to bring in some little mats so that we can make tags for the inside here. And so what I'll be using is I have two pieces that measure 3 5/8 by 2, and these are decorative pieces that match my project main color piece. And then I have 4 pieces that measure 3 5/8 by 1 3/4. So what we're going to do is we are going to take our tape and take our white mats that measure 3 3/8 by 1 3/4, and I'm placing one on the front. Then I'm going to place one on the back. And this will just give us a nice little area where we can write notes or whatever we might want to put in here. So that one's going to go there. Then I'll bring in my second piece of 3 5/8 by 2 inch matte base. And I'll bring in my first piece of 1 3/4 by 3 3/8 inch white piece. And we're going to place that down. And then I'll flip it over, and we're going to take that second piece and do the same thing. So now we have 2 mats looking pretty sweet. So at this point, the only thing that we have left to do really is to decorate and make the lid. So before we make the lid, I am going to bring in my decorative stickers, and I'm just going to do some decorating on this project. So I think that what I want to do is I am going to take this sticker that says warm, cozy, and bright, and we're going to place that right there. And then I'll take this one that says just for you, and we're going to place it right there. Then I want to place some stickers right in that white space there. So I am going to take this one that says Snow Much Fun, and I'm going to place it towards the top this time. And then I'm going to take this one that says Let's Stay In, and I am going to place it towards the top, but I want to make sure that I have it nice and straight. Now I can take my tags and put my tags in just like that. But before I do, I am going to add just a little something to my tag. And I think that might be too big. So I am going to find myself just a little sticker. This one says Snow Fun. And I'll place that there. Then I'm going to take my other tag and I am going to find, I'll use this one that says Let It Snow. And we're going to place it right there. So now I can take that and I can tuck those in just like that. Then I want to place something decorative right along the bottom. It doesn't have to be a whole lot of anything. And I think what I'm going to go with, I am loving these Christmas trees. So I'm going to take one and place it right there. And then I am going to take this one and place it right there. That's just giving me a cohesive look across my whole project. So now what I want to do, guys, is I want to find something that I am going to put right here. So I think what I'm liking, so I think I'm going to go with this one that says let it snow, and I'm just going to turn it just a little bit so that it will fit. And then I'm going to take this one that says sledding party and place it right there. And that is how simple it is just to decorate the inside of our box to make it a gift. So now what I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to put the lid on when I put it on. This will be my front. So I want to find just something cute to put on the front. And I think what I'm going to put on the front is just going to be that little snowman right there. And I moved him down just a little bit because the lid will be up here. So then I'm going to come around to the back piece and we're going to place something right there as well. And the snowman is still calling to me, guys, but this time I'm going to take the more rustic one and just place him down. So now we have the base of our box all done. And this is how it will set out once the original gift has been removed and the box becomes the second gift. Isn't that super sweet? So I'm going to set it to the side and we are going to make our lids. Now to make our lids, I am starting with two pieces that measure 7 1/4 by 7 1/4. And I'm going to give you guys an alternative measurement in case you want your lid to be looser than the one I'm making. I'm making my lid to be very snug. That's why I'm using a 7 1/4 by 7 1/4 inch piece to make those lids. If you want a looser lid, just slightly looser, cut your paper at 7 3/8 by 7 3/8 and do exactly what I'm doing here. Score at 1 and 2. It's all in how tight you want your lid, and I'll show you the difference in just a minute, but I'm going to go ahead and score both of my papers at 1 and at 2, and these are 7 1/4 by 7 1/4. Here is a lid that I made when I cut my paper to 7 3/8 by 7 3/8 and scored it at 1 and 2. And it does fit my box, but it's a little bit looser than I want. I wanted my lid on this to be very snug. I would be fine with this on any other project, but I don't want the base to be loose. So I went with a very snug lid, and I started with the piece that measures 7 1/4 by 7 1/4 and scored at 1 and 2 on all 4 sides. So now all we need to do is fold and burnish all of our scores. And then once we have all of our scores folded and burnished, we're going to have 3 corner pieces that we need to get rid of. So we are going to go up to the second score mark on both sides of the wider panel and cut straight down so that we can free up this wide panel here. Then we can go ahead and angle in here, angle in here, go to this score mark here, angle in, and then we can come to this score mark and remove pieces 1 and 2, and then we can remove piece number 3. That's all that we're doing. So we'll come over to this side. We are going to go to this score mark here because we're working on freeing up that wide panel, and we'll go up to that second score mark and drag straight down. And then we'll come over to this score mark, drag straight down, and we have freed up that panel. Then we'll angle here, angle here, go to this score mark here, angle in, and then we can cut it to remove pieces 1 and 2. Then we'll cut through and remove piece number 3. And we'll do the same thing over here. And then what I want to do is I want to make sure that all of my flaps, the outer flaps, have a slight angle to them. So I am just going to take my finger blade and go to each one that does not have an angle and just angle, because that'll just make it easier to fold in when we place that glue. All right, guys, so now that we have our lid all cut out, I am going to go ahead and glue it together. So we're going to take our glue, place our glue on the glue flaps, and then we'll join the corners together, making sure that we have nice, crisp corners. So I am going to use my bone folder to go on the inside and just smooth that down. Then I'll do the same thing over here. Match it corner to corner, nice and smooth. We'll get that stuck. And then I'll do the same thing here. So I am going to place my glue on my tabs, and then we will get these stuck together. Use my bone folder to go on the inside, get that nice and stuck and even in the corner. I don't want any overhang. So I'll come to this side and do the same thing. So now I'm going to fold my outer pieces backwards, and then I'll take my glue and we're just going to put a little bit of glue on these outer pieces, and then we'll fold the outer pieces in just like this. Then we can use our bone folder and just go inside and get them all stuck. And then just make sure that you go around it a few times on the inside just to make sure you have a really good stick on those inside flaps. And we have 2 pieces that we're going to put on the lids that measure 3 by 3. And I am just going to take some tape. Oops. And then I can take this and get it positioned in the center. All right, guys, so now that our lid is done, I actually went ahead and did the second one off camera. We're going to go ahead and put our box together. So the way that we do it is this flap, we're going to have it on the outside because it'll help to keep the box squared. Then we're going to take our lid, just place your lid on, and then you can turn it upside down and place your base. And so now that we have our lids on, we're going to have a very beautiful box gift to give. Isn't it beautiful? I absolutely love it. And again, when we take off the top, we take off the bottom, our box becomes a gift. Perfect. And remember the 2 different lid size measurements that I gave you in case one lid is a little bit snugger than you want or looser than you want. Just kind of play around with it. But here we have a most gorgeous, gorgeous gift. And I am going to bring my first one back into frame so that you can see how our box looks when it's closed. This is how it looks when it's open and the box becomes a gift. But when it's closed, you can actually take items and put them down on the inside and use this as a way that you would give a gift. And our box becomes a beautiful, beautiful standalone gift all by itself. So you made it until the end. Thank you, whether you're listening or watching. Thank you for making it until the end of my unusually long video. But those were 5 really fun projects. Did you remember 1, 2, 3? Maybe all of them. I hope that you did. And I hope that you'll come back for yet another one of my favorite 5s. So, as always, my beautiful, lovely friends, y'all please be safe, be kind, be the reason someone smiles today. Happy crafting, and we'll chat later. Bye.